Hello, I'm Duke Marshall. I do good, but we can do better. Last month, we got the Derek Chauvin guilty verdict, but relief we got seeing some accountability for killing George Floyd was short-lived. Any positive feelings were quickly replaced with even more trauma dealt to our community by way of police violence, which it honestly feels never ending. And our hearts go out to the family of 20-year-old Dante Wright, who was killed also in Minnesota by Officer Kim Potter, who claimed to have mistaken her firearm for a taser. She has since been arrested and charged and will certainly keep paying close attention to that case as it progresses. But now we also have our eyes on the very suspicious shooting of brother Andrew Brown Jr. in North Carolina, where police they're releasing very few details about why they shot that black man. Well, we want to see that body cam footage. But let's talk for a minute about the shooting death of Khia Bryant in Ohio that happened just a few minutes before the Chauvin verdict was announced. This nation has always been polarized, and we've really seen that come to a head in recent years. But this incident, it's even splitting the black community down the middle. Hands up, don't shoot. I can't breathe. A major part of the Black Lives Matter movement has been all about the killing of unarmed black people. But what about Miss Bryant, who was shot not only with a weapon in her hand, but with a weapon in her hand that she had every intention of using? There's a whole lot of folks saying, well now, that's different. What I've noticed is that a whole lot of people are either failing to realize or they're unwilling to acknowledge that their perspective is not objective truth. Two people can look at two sets of facts and come to two completely different conclusions. Two people can look at the fact that Khia was shot 4 times. The first person might feel that that's way too much. If you weren't set on killing this girl, then you would have only fired 1 shot off, while another person might look at that same fact and say there's not really a huge difference. 1 or 2 shots, 3 or 4 shots, it's negligible because you can get off 4 quick shots without any calculated shift in your thoughts, without what you're looking at changing in any way. I take all that context away. How old they were, who called the police, whose property it was, to me, that's all irrelevant because at the end of my personal assessment, it's reasonable to believe that the officer didn't know any of that. So now the situation becomes very simple. What did he observe? What did he do about it, and why? And that's where the two opposing viewpoints really have a chance to converge. Now, I got some numbers from statistical research, and at the end of March of this year, there have been 50 fatal shootings of white people by the police, 30 black, and about 20 Latino. Black and brown people only make up about 30% of the population, but half of the time police shoot someone and kill them, it's one of us. And that's a disparity. So then you immediately think, okay, what could be causing that? And we're not gonna play the race card, not just yet, because black and brown neighborhoods are policed a lot more heavily and aggressively than our white neighborhoods because there is more violence and crime reported. So one would expect that more police encounters total raises the likelihood and frequency of bad encounters. If we're conducting an exercise in cause and effect though, what came first? Let's back up 50, let's back up 100, even 200 years. There's always been violent policing with hostility towards the black community, even way before guns and drugs became a factor. That would suggest that the guns and drugs aren't necessarily what causes it. I fully acknowledge, I fully understand that we cannot have police just watching people get stabbed to death in the street. So perhaps this particular incident isn't the best way to illustrate my point. But there must be equal treatment all the way across the board. We absolutely demand it. Even for guilty people, allegedly guilty people, because Khia's level of guilt is debatable. And it's very simple. If you do not give us justice, we will not give you peace. There are plenty of varying viewpoints on this one though. And it's something we'll definitely revisit, reassess, and work out our feelings in the coming weeks as more information comes out. For Pole City, this is Do Good Marshall. Y'all drink some water today, love each other, and I'll see you next time.